Okay, so you might have seen the post about the Assassin Preseason updates. So they've been talking about. So there was a mage update before, and now they're gonna do an update for assassins. So they teased a little bit. They were talking about flat arm penetration and arm penetration changes and shit. And above all, there was a bit in the wording from the most recent update that worried me a little bit. So specifically, let's see if I can find it. Right. Opponents has common problems with a lack of meaningful interactivity. It isn't the damage that's the problem, but the feeling that you have not having any chance to outplay or even react to them. As a result, fed assassins feel pointless to play against, while trailing assassins feel pointless to play as or with. Ultimately, we want the assassin player to be making aggressive, flashy plays and know that they've earned it. See, this is problematic. This is very problematic. Because currently, and I'm gonna go over, the only champion I'm actually really excited for is Talon. Talon looks really interesting. I have no idea what they're gonna do with him. They're talking about making him kind of interact with terrain and stuff. Terrain to his advantage. Like, they're gonna give him like bonuses in river and brushes and stuff. But interesting to see about that. But specifically, LeBlanc, they like when they're talking about the that it's no meaningful interactivity. This is really bad that they're saying this, because that implies that they don't think that there's any counterplay to assassins right now. And I see this, you can call me biased as much as you like, but I see this in my comments all the time, and it still astounds me how many people think there's no counterplay to assassins. There's a reason why Zed has not been picked or banned once in Worlds. Not once. The problem is, and the problem with this thought here is that Syndra right now does an assassin's job much better, because Syndra has less counterplay than Zed, right? But that's not, like, my problem is that Syndra has counterplay. It's just this idea of what is counterplay, what's not, how much you're gonna attribute to positioning, how much you're gonna attribute to, like, wording and being out of position and fighting as a team, and what picks are this and that, and it's just, I don't know. But then you come to this part. We want him. Okay, Zed is a pretty bad champion already, but that doesn't mean he has no room for improvement. In Zed's case, we're concerned that he's a bit too consistent. We want him to feel like he has good matchups and bad matchups. So we're tweaking his laning phase and giving him added benefits for killing the right target with Deathmark. If you told me I want Zed to have good and bad matchups, and I want him to have benefits for killing the right target with Deathmark, I'd be like, I got great news for you. We're already there. It's already the case. If they can actually tell me that Zed has no bad matchups and no good matchups, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just bizarre. And above all, a benefit for killing the right target with Deathmark? Yeah, the benefit is pretty big, actually. If you kill the enemy AD carry, the enemy team doesn't have an AD carry. That's a pretty big thing. So, the idea that assassins, and they said with LeBlanc that, let's see, Deception Mind Games won't mean much to LeBlanc if she's killing her opponent before they have ability to do anything. We also want to ensure that LeBlanc does commit to a kill by dashing in. She has to stay in threat range for slightly longer so that players who read her moves correctly can feel like they can respond. The problem is they're saying Deception and Mind Games won't mean much to LeBlanc if she's killing her opponent before they have no ability to do anything. Well, Deception and Mind Games won't do anything if LeBlanc can't kill her opponents quickly. If an assassin cannot kill an opponent quickly, why do you have an assassin? That's the point of an assassin. You take out priority target before they can do anything. That's the point. And if you fuck up laning phase, if you fuck up roaming, then yeah, you're gonna get outscaled by mages. And since we have a tank heavy, like so many tanks in so many roles, specifically mid lane, we have had so many mages who build Rylais. Like, it's just, why would you even pick an assassin if the assassin needs to have some kind of gimmick that makes it slower to kill someone. So take Talon for example. Okay, so if Talon right now is really quick, Talon is a instant assassin who puts himself in a very dangerous situation for good AoE damage and very very quick damage, right? He blinks in, blam, does his burst. If you do that on someone who has Zhonya's, or if you do that in the incorrect situation when they have a Janna, a Lulu, any support that can peel, or anything that can instantly react or doesn't die to the burst, then you're just... If you go on an Orianna, and she has Zhonya's, you E in, you E straight into her. Sorry, you E onto her and use your abilities, and she uses Zhonya and like 60% HP. Then you're currently stuck, possibly in the middle of her team, with nothing. Now, if you add that, this is with Talon's fast bursts, right? There's still possibility to the Zhonyas to flash away to do shit, right? If you add a gimmick that makes it even slower, or even slower implies that it's slow. If you make it slower, if you give even more room to counterplay, a Janna can simply, they can just like tab up from Facebook and actually walk forward to the Orianna and press R, or press E, or press Q, or press any of the support items, right? And she's fine. So even if you're keeping the same damage, if you add, for some reason, add, like, this just idea that they kept saying that they wanted to be more counterplay, more time to react, more time to do stuff, more stuff to do. Well, the point of Assassins is consistently bursting, right? And if you screw up early game and mid game, and you can't actually kill someone, that's your own fault, right? Some Assassins, Talon doesn't have good laning. He has really bad laning, but his roaming is fantastic because when he gets to bot lane and he has a very solid gank, he can start snowballing on top of that. His kit is just really really good for it, so you can get stuff going. But if you just sit in lane and wait, and then complain that you're too weak to do stuff because you got outlaned because your champion's not good in lane, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think you're just not playing Assassin the correct way. That this entire idea, and I don't know, the sad thing is just completely, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so strange that, I don't know. He has good and bad matchups. He does have good and bad matchups, come on. I don't know, this idea that they're adding gimmicks and counterplay to a role that that the point is quick burst, we'll just keep seeing more Syndra. Like if they add that and they make Assassins slow, like the burst as slow as possible, or not slow as possible, but add like a gimmick or add something to make extra counterplay, then you'd never ever pick Zed or LeBlanc or Talon or anything like that over Syndra. Or even, like, freaking Victor. Victor has fast burst. Now, he's not as mobile, but he has instant fast burst. And that's the point. You need that fast burst because so many champions right now have so much stuff to do when they react. Which is fine. But if an assassin needs, like, extra time to kill... The problem... I don't know. The problem is, especially when I see people, and, you know, with my videos, obviously see people complaining about Zed all the time, is that they said he has no counterplay. He has nothing you can do. And when I see this, I'm actually assuming, do people really think that he has no bad matchups? Like, have they never played Lulu against Zed? Honestly, even if you lose lane as Lulu versus Zed, and I know I spoke to Vermilion, he said he just dodges. If he ever played against Lulu, he just dodged. There's no point. Because Lulu, I'm sorry, I'm going on tangent here, but if you ult someone, Lulu pull him off you, ult the person you're ulting, there's no point, right? So adding gimmicks and adding extra time and to make more counterplay and more window to fight back. Sure, the idea, like, I want to say the idea is good, but I really, like, yeah, sure, it really sucks when you're getting bursted by an assassin. But the fact still remains that if you CC that assassin, either we have two different kinds of assassin. We have the Zed kind of assassin who's delayed, who's a bit slower but more slippery, more in and out. So that kind of assassin, right? More delayed, more slippery, more flexible. Or we have the instant, the Diana, the Talon, the Fizz, right? Instantly burst in. So if that Talon goes in with an E and he gets stunned or he gets polymorphed, then he's fucked. It doesn't matter how fed he is fucked, right? So there is still counterplay. But if you're a solo AD carry, split pushing all on your own while the enemy team has a fucking 16-0 Rengar, and then you get killed without being able to get away, well, if you do get away, then that's... Why would you ever pick Rengar if Rengar 16-0 can't kill an AD carry who's out of position? This is the point where people are saying they're attributing counterplay to the wrong thing. There already is counterplay. So, I don't know, maybe they'll make an amazing update. Maybe this will all be great. I'm sure, honestly, I really don't like to complain about Riot balancing, because I understand that they're doing their best and all that stuff, and honestly, they get too much hate anyway. But this arguing really worries me quite a lot, for the reasons explained. So, I don't know. I'm really excited about Talon, and I really hope that they don't screw up LeBlanc the way that seems like they're going to, because a LeBlanc who can't burst someone, you wouldn't pick LeBlanc. You wouldn't pick a champion just because they can do mind games and deception. That's not... You're not going to be like, oh, what do we need for this comp? We need mind games and deception. No, we need burst, we need instant assassination, we need pressure, we need roam. Anything like that. We don't need deception and mind games. We're not going to play Shaco and LeBlanc and fucking, I don't even know, Bard bot lane or some shit. We need, you need, I don't know. I feel like I'm going over the same grounds. Is this clear? I feel like the idea that Assassins have no counterplay is just such a... This has already been refuted so many times. And the fact that Assassins are very rarely picked in Worlds right now, and the fact that they have, not they, but some of them, Zed specifically, of course I hear about Zed the most because I play Zed the most on my YouTube channel. So I hear about Zed being so OP, but the fact is that he has a terrible win ratio. He hasn't been picked at all. He does have counterplay. I don't know what to say about this even more. But I don't know, please let me know, do people actually think that he has no good matchups and no like, all matchups are just bland for him? They're all just kind of the same? And the idea that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong. But initially, into my mind, it feels like the idea that no counterplay is just bizarre. Because it's been refuted so many times, and it actually, I don't know. I'm going over the same grounds again. We'll see what happens with the update, but initially I'm worried because the phrasing is just so. And this part, I mean, I'm even against this point too. Like, if you're behind as an assassin, if you're like super behind it, you screwed up your laning, you didn't roam at all. And you had really bad vision, why would you still be why should you still be super relevant? Give me one champion that's still really good when it's behind. There's, like, everyone says, oh, well, Orianna has her ultimate and a shield. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're behind, you're supposed to be weak. If you screwed up, if you had a champion that had a really good lane, you didn't do anything with it, and then you got outscaled. Or you had a champion that had a really bad lane, and you lost lane. You shouldn't be having, like, extra help to get back, and like, there shouldn't be like that. If you screwed up, you should get punished for it. Even if you're playing a champion that needs to be at least stable, and even then, yeah, an assassin who's behind is gonna have a hard time assassinating someone. That doesn't mean you're not useful. I've made videos about this on Zed. If you're behind, you can still do stuff, but you can't do the same stuff as if you're ahead. So even this arguing, I feel like, is such a weird, like, yeah, on the surface, sure, it's really fun if you weren't so behind, but the fact of the matter is, it's your fault that you're behind, or your synergy with a jungler, or someone faded. It doesn't matter, right? But the fact of the matter is, in this game, you are behind. You shouldn't be still being able to do the same things as if you're ahead, because then you're just making everything bland and taking away agency from the players, which is just boring. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But we'll see what they do with it. Like I said, I'm super excited about Talon because Talon, as it is right now, he's actually fun to play, even if he's very, very simplistic. But this update looks interesting. I think it's gonna be gimmicky as fuck, but we'll see what they do with it. Other than that, they've been talking about how they want to fix tank echo and shit. But above all, the Zed part, I just could not get behind. So let me know what you think about it. We'll see next week what they actually do with it. But like I said, I'm kind of slightly worried. So we'll see what they do. Let me know what you think. Peace.